Station of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your lovable host. As always, we like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we've got the S&Ps off 3, the Dow's off 38, the Nasdaq's flat, and the Russell, let's get that here in there, up, down 5 points. Crude oil's up just a little less than $1. When we look at some of the other things, natural gas off about 2 cents. Gold's up $2.70 at 11.91. Silver's up 8 cents at 14.41. Mr. Copper up 4.5 cents. Strong day on copper, up 1.6%. And I think that takes care of that. Of course, probably more interesting to us every day now when we wake up is the dollar index. It's up 33 cents at 57.77. And of course, the next thing you want to look at after that is that TLT. We're up 80 cents. We went down there, tested those levels under 13. Now we've got a fairly significant bounce. 113.48 is the last tick on the TLT. You got to figure that we'd go in there and get a bounce. We'll look at that chart today too. And the rest is just a lot of stocks testing previous lows on lighter volume. We got a little bit of bounce, but not much of a bounce. And the proof of the pudding is going to be in the close. Now, tomorrow starts options expiration for the monthly options. And my guess is that we might have some kind of a low come in the next, I'm going to call it the next trading day between now and probably 2 or 3 tomorrow. And that may be options related. But 80% of the time, the market is higher from the Wednesday, the week before options to the close on options. So there's a fairly heavy bias. It's not monstrous, but it is significant. And that is it's on average of 1.25% higher than it will be at the close tomorrow, 80% of the time. 20% of the time, it just falls out of bed. So if you're down a little, you're probably going to be down a lot. If you're not down at all, you're probably going to be up a little bit on average. Now, a handful of other things we're watching. Wanted to see how volume came in today. We're already pushing 4.3 billion shares on the CBOE market volume summary. That's all volume everywhere. We'll talk about that. And look forward to your phone calls. We had a lot of people bugging me the last day to buy. I just don't think it's quite there yet. I don't have any signals that says it's there yet. We're just kind of slowing down. A little bit of a doji. Maybe we get several dojis. I would love for us to go and have a real capitulation. Maybe that will happen below 28.50 or 28.60. We'll have to see. But volume, I'm going to say it's brisk. But since we've been up and down so much, it's hard to get a clear reading of where that volume's coming in to the upside or the downside. But I suspect there's probably a fairly low-risk trade in the next 24 hours or so on individual stocks. On the broader indexes, we may not have that much of a movement. Still looking at a great deal of sector rotation. And that means that even though a lot of these stocks may go higher in the very short term, we may see a fairly muted result in the both the NASDAQ and the S&P. Not sure about the Russell. It still looks to be odd man out with a stronger dollar and the idea that maybe tariffs will be taken off sooner rather than later. The bond bounce out here, of course, is kind of a tiny respite for the equities market. It means that they are not selling bonds and therefore or trying to raise cash in the equity market, which has been fat and happy. But we'll look at some other things. Let's do a little history and get those telephones warmed up to give me a call. Pop open that email client and send me an email at path@tfnn.com, or let your fingers do the walking at 877-927-6648.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day in 1837, the jig is up. Two bankers, Joseph and Fran Blanco, were put on trial in France for having conspired to commit the equivalent of modern-day internet stock fraud. How could this be? Well, certainly there was no, at that time in France, there was no Morse code. He was just kind of thinking about it. There wasn't any telegraph system. They had a system that had wooden planks that looked like semaphores, and on the top of a bunch of mountain ranges, they would put these semaphores and build little houses, and people would relay them 30 miles at a time with telescopes, looking at these things and sending codes for the letters across. And it was a rather slow thing. But these guys decided to go ahead and start bribing people. The semaphore system that they actually called a telegraph at that time, so if you wonder where the name comes, becomes before the telegraph. They bribed people on both ends. And the scheme ended up being if there was significant news or a stock price move, they would send what a lot of people thought was just a mistake. And right at the problem was that there wasn't an easy way to back up the mistakes. So the mistakes went all the way down the line on these semaphore things and got to all the end of the line. And then maybe 5 minutes later, you'd get yet another resend of the message and it would be fixed. Well, they had a code in the mistakes, and there were mistakes quite often. When you think about it, everybody thinks, well, it's a high-frequency traders. Everybody, it's just kind of a thing now. Well, for the first time that people have been able to communicate in a high-speed manner, higher than speed than anybody could ride a horse or get a train down a track or anything else, people have been looking to game the system. And you know what? There was no law against what they did at the time. There was a few days after they were acquitted and went free. They got to, they ran the scam for almost about 2.5 years, made a ton of money on it. And whether it's the Sting or high-frequency traders, people have always tried to game the stock market. It will never stop. But on this day in 1937, they at least went to court for a little while. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website.
You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors. Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we're back. We're going to look at a handful of stocks. And let's go ahead and look at the TLT to begin with. We'll look at some others. But, you know, you basically had a bounce in the TLT. No big deal so far, up on 7.5 million shares. But, of course, you were down on 18 million shares just 2 days ago, 2 trading days ago. And yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot to say other than that. You probably want at least some level of consolidation. We came down a lot of energy, so that probably doesn't mean some kind of V bottom unless there is some kind of action by the government. Pretty large market to turn around on a dime. So at best, they probably would have to consolidate for a little while. Other stocks of interest out here today, Snap being, I'm going to give these folks the Cows Left the Barn Award for downgrading Snap down here and not 2 months ago or something. But I'm wondering whether or not we don't have some kind of low coming in Snap here fairly soon. The reason is that they're all dumping on it today. That's generally a good indication that when Wall Street big boys decide to start slamming a stock, it means that probably it's fairly close to the bottom and they want to get out of their shorts. So they'll send a lot of shills and stooges out to put a little bit of propaganda out there, make it easy for them to cover their shorts. So when I hear them squealing at lows about how horrible a stock is, I always wonder whether or not there's something bigger going on. So we got, I don't know if it's a badly failed IPO. I think it, somebody in the den says it's a failed IPO. I think all their great ideas just got stolen. They literally had all the ideas that Facebook's using now. And the question is, did Facebook use its monopoly position in the market to crush them? And I think the answer is it's true. I think a failed IPO is one where the stock literally had no chance. not one where the big boy on the block just took all their ideas literally verbatim and kind of cut them off under the legs. I still think Snap has a position in the market that could be profitable. It's just nothing that's going to change today. They make money the same way Facebook makes money. They sell ads. They just never reached that level. And of course, you know, there's the giant things that never going to work, like Tesla. Pretty sure that the thing was it had hit the iceberg as it was leaving the berth. It already had a giant gash in it, and that's the business model that had a problem. Their business model was that they were going to become better at stuff. What they couldn't perceive was the instant adoption of everything they did by a bigger competitor. And that's where you really, if you want to say it was a failed IPO, you could say that they had no moat, no way to handle and keep their intellectual property or ideas. But certainly they had all the best ideas that are making Facebook money now. So I wouldn't say that it was a horrible idea. A lot of these things you just know are frauds from the get-go. In fact, there's been a huge amount of bankruptcies surrounding these Kickstarter campaigns as of late. A lot of these things, it was kind of funny at the time when these things started a year or two ago. There was a ton of people on YouTube that are like physicists and scientists, and they all explain why everything that these guys thought that they said they were going to do was hokum. Yes, I said it. Hokum, not a word you have every day. And now, of course, they're all going bankrupt because they were all, for the most part, there was a huge run on these companies that were going to be nothing more than dehumidifiers and suck water out of air for all these poor people all around the world. Well, it's all good and great, but you can actually make and transport water for about a tenth of the cost that these things would do to take the water out of the air. Dehumidification is one of the most cost intensive things in the world. And everybody said it at the time, but these guys said that they had some magic formula that could kind of skirt or go around all these laws of thermodynamics. And of course, they're all broke. In fact, one of them, I think it got 10 times the amount of money they said that it would take to get this thing to market. And guess what? Even with 10 times the amount of money, they still couldn't get it to market. So they're completely bonkers things. I guess if you think Snap has failed from the beginning, I guess you just have to think that nobody has a chance in a monopoly position or to go up against a monopoly position. And it's not 100% true. A lot of times people leave doors open, which I think Google and Facebook and others have left giant doors open for possible competition. Just nobody's rose to the occasion yet. I'd say it feels like 1999 if everybody was making no money. But you know, Apple, it's got $280 million sitting on a shelf. It's not like these guys are paupers and have no products, which is what 1999 was all about. Literally, companies were vapor. They were all run by hucksters who knew that everything that they had was vapor. No business plan, no models. In one occasion, the entire business plan was a sock puppet. So anyway, what we were looking at here, Snap. Oh, we looked at TLT, looked at Snap. A lot of times when these things have huge bounces, they're right after everybody tells you that they can't make a dime and they're going lower. And that's generally so that they can buy or get out if they don't want to buy of their short positions. Let's take another one that has been problematic. Now, here is the one that actually, I thought, had problems before they went public, extreme problems, and that was you never could tell whether or not it was your competitor raining on your product or your business or your restaurant. And as South Park showed it so eloquently, just narcissists that like to go around extorting things out of shop owners. But this actually doesn't look that bad. Maybe this is one that may turn itself around. They've tried. Nice gap up back on August 9th with 26 million shares. Back in here with lighter volume, 600,000 shares. So not a lot of people driving to the broker to say, sell, yell, yelp. Is that right? We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And got an interesting pattern out here. Someone wants me to take a quick look at the GLD. As I said yesterday, when these things are moving like this in this tiny time frame, I don't know how you make any prognostications about it. If a stock was trading at $11.90 and went to $12.10, I don't know how you'd say anything other than maybe it's just noise. Now you had a gap down, got another little gap down here. This looks to me like this thing is in a trading range. Don't have much volume today, but not going up, not going down significantly. It's just in the sideways range. I don't know. I kind of think that it's more important to maybe set alarms and wait and don't get too focused on this stuff until it does break out. I mean, you keep an eye on it, but I don't, I'm much more willing on these things not to anticipate, but wait and find some big signal. I think I was talking about it a little bit yesterday, but in analysis, at least back in 2000, I hadn't really thought about it this way, but in Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Taleb, he kept on bringing up a kind of a core concept of understanding at least the math behind signals. And at the time, well, back in 2000, around 2003, he brought up that a 100-point move in the Dow and a 500-point move in the Dow is not a 5-time bigger signal. The 500 one isn't a 5-time bigger signal than the 100. It's actually a 9.6 times bigger signal statistically. And so when you get down into the weeds here and these tiny little things and there's not much going on, I think there's a tendency to read a great deal more that's in there. I tend to think that it's much more important to pick up the big signals and maybe even wait for the big signals instead of getting kind of sucked in and always looking for the pot to boil. It will, but most of those things have a little whistle, but when it does boil, it can possibly go off. Okay, got a question out here about the XLE. So we'll take a quick look at that. We'll get on them. And then we'll look at AJRD. XLE back up to the highs. Volume today about 9.5 million shares so far. That's going into the 11 million share high of June 10th on the XLE. You need about 16 million shares. That's the May 22nd high. So as we go into this, about 10 million shares. What are we going to get? Probably about 13 million shares. So it doesn't look horrible, but it's not. Doesn't have any gusto. No gusto. Okay, what else do we have? AJRD. Aerojet Rocketdyne Holdings. This thing's been kind of coming back. One of the things that happened, I don't know, it was a week or I think it was about a week ago, was that Blue Origins, the Bezos system, ended up getting a big order for their rocket engines, which are based on methane fuel. I still like this company. Man, you'd love to get this thing at about $29.50 or $29, somewhere in there. So you're about $3 higher than that. You may not get it. You may not only get $31. Again, this company has a Aerospike engine, and I love it in this sector if they could ever get anybody to adopt it. But the risk of adopting it is fairly high. The reward, though, is also fairly high. Once everybody goes down this road, I don't think anybody else is going to be able to not use some kind of Aerospike engine. Aerospike engines have, instead of a fixed bell at the bottom of the rocket, they have a rocket engine. What do you call it? The chamber. I think it's got, maybe you call it chamber, where everything gets ignited. And normally these things look like big bells. This one looks more like a big rectangle, and it can change the size of that hole, kind of like you putting a thumb over the end of a water hose and spraying it a little bit farther. You can change that as the altitude changes as your rocket goes higher, and it makes a huge difference in how much payload and how much fuel you use. At the moment, though, it's a bigger issue of putting in payload. Methane or kerosene, which is the main ingredients for most of these rockets, fairly cheap and inexpensive. So we continue to look at that. But yeah, $31 seems to me that's about halfway into this up candle from 731. Space is still going to be hot. In fact, I think, what did I see? Virgin Galactic is about 2 weeks away from putting their guy in space. So we'll look for that. The next question is to do SCCO. Let's take a look at that. And I got some other ones out here. Southern Copper. You know, you got to think that this is going to take off as soon as the China issues are resolved. So it looks good out here. Looks like an ABC. You got 3 days going sideways. You got light volume today. I think the way you'd play this, I don't think it's going to happen before the election. I don't think the Chinese would even get a chance of giving President Trump a pat on the back before the elections. They're going to wait till after it. They really dislike the fact that they had a fairly compliant American government for the last 15 or 20 years, and now he's standing in their way of world domination and taking back over Taiwan and a lot of other stuff. So they're going to probably be the toughest of the bunch. But to me, I think the play on this one is after the election and to buy calls, because you're probably not going to know when that deal is going to come, but it will. Maybe it's the day after the election. Hard to say. But they'll have to make a deal. They can't continue taking the beating that they're taking now for extended periods. And they're not going to roll over easily, though, because that would make them, at least in their eyes, think that there was even more. And don't think for a minute that Trump isn't going to come back for more with all these guys in another year or 2 years. He'll do some incrementalism. But anyway, for me, I would think that the big move in copper and in these stocks and the rest is after the election, start buying calls because you don't know what's going to happen. Then you can control your risk. I'd be a call buyer after the election.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
These high school boys and girls are having a hop at the local soda fountain. Innocently, they dance. Innocent of a new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
Yes, it's roots in hell. Anyway, question about New Age Beverage Corp, who kind of had a big run up here on, I guess you can drink it. I don't know much about drugs. Try to stay away from them. Drugs are bad. But I'm a libertarian, so kind of think that you have the right to OD on heroin if you want. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Anyway, question about what it looks like as a chart basis, and not my personal bias, is, 20 million shares on the downside. Now, you had a nice gap up with 95 million shares on the first. So you're back into it with a significantly lighter volume. You've got a bunch of gaps right around here down to about 525. So, yeah, if you're looking at playing these, I don't know what drives people to do drugs. I try to not do them myself. So I try to trade things that I understand. I don't understand it. I do look at the chart, though. Chart does look good. And what else do you have down here? About 525. I think you probably would want to use this candle of the 28th at 535. So, yeah, maybe 530, 525 would be stop out on it. Ideally, you'd want maybe one more day out here. If you could get another 30 cents, I think the risk reward would be much better. But, what can you say? Well, I saw a lot of people smoking dope in school. I didn't see a lot of pain. They didn't have pain before they started, didn't have any after. Oh, CDB just has a buzz. No, it just eliminates pain. Whatever. I didn't have any pain, so don't need it. Don't want it. Okay, what else do we have out here? I think that's interesting. Does look good. Wanted to look at a few other things out here that have been hitting. Wanted to look at the SMHs today. Yeah, everybody has chronic pain. Everybody I knew that told me that they were taking it for their pain, most of them I didn't believe it. It just seemed, it's neither here nor there. Let's take a look at semiconductors. SMH, $100.90, the July 2nd low. That's 6.7 million shares. You did spike it with higher volume yesterday, 8.9 million shares, just going sideways. That being said, the energy wasn't all that exciting on the way down, so you could be in a trading range. But again, no signal yet that is there. Okay. Question about MU. Certainly getting there on Micron. I remember we had, I think it was Maria call a few weeks ago, and I said, you know, you want this low down here at $40.68 to get tested. And man, are we getting close. That had 67 million shares. So far today, 24 million shares. So it doesn't look too bad. But maybe you got another day or so to go. Ideally, of course, you'd want that $40.68 tested and pierced on lighter volume, and then come back into the trading range, and that would be your buy on it. Long term, they have some really nice products. The question is of timing, and is this close enough to when the new X-Point memory that them and Intel got together is going to be a big seller, because that's going to be a big thing in their quiver going forward. I had some other ones out here that we're watching at. People have called in on Global Blood Therapeutics. Not a bad looking chart out here. This thing gapped down on June 27th. Almost 17 million shares, got into it with 2.3 million shares October 3rd. Down on 600,000 shares today. So, I mean, you're back. I mean, there's a lot of stocks like this that are out here that are back on light volume. I got a question to look at Tesla. You got back to 252 with 22 million shares, with this 13 million shares yesterday. So not a big surprise that this thing's bouncing a little bit. My guess is this thing would get back to about 282, maybe 285, and to these gap downs. Again, this thing is absolutely massively shorted. I tried to stay away from them. The last 3 days, last 4 days, last 6 days, at least one not at least, 1 out of 4 shares initiated a trade with a short position. So, of course, you've been going lower. Now the question is, when do these things have to get pulled back in? Because it does have such an overwhelming, massive short position, which is close to about 30% right now. And that is the problem. When everybody knows, everybody gets short, it takes a long time. In fact, I remember Jim Chanos talking about Enron, and he was short the thing for like a year, and then it all fell apart. But it had been a long time that he knew it was a fraud. The question is just how long it takes. Sabre, S-A-B-R, watching this one. It's kind of in the same thing as TripAdvisor and all the other companies that try to get your business on booking that. But I think this is the one that actually is a lot more on the back side. You don't see or hear them advertise, but they're all about travels and booking airlines and hotels and all that stuff. Been around forever. 2.11 million shares August 2nd. Into that, you did go below it yesterday. You did it on 1.3 million shares. You're back into the trading range here. Energy was kind of sharp on the way coming back. This thing just looks like it's in a trading range up to about 26. But I guess people are going to always continue trading. Sunrun. These guys are in the solar business. And it looks like maybe there's some support coming in for these solar companies, even though I'm not a big fan of them. August 10th, $11.80 with 10 million shares. Got into it with 1.16 million shares yesterday. FSLR, which is for solar, has had kind of a similar pattern out here, and that is, it's a little bit lower though than the big spike. That was 48 bucks on July 27th, but certainly don't have the volume of the last 4 or 5 days as it's gone below that $48. We'll be back in
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Technology Insider is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
One of the biggest stocks of the late part of the summer was Turtle Beach here. And I used to do business with these guys in the 90s. We did video, and of course, needed some kind of audio, and worked out some deals with these guys. They've been around forever. I think probably the mid-'80s. Hadn't been doing much for a long time. Audio, or at least quality audio, kind of built into PCs now. Digital audio. A computer is one of the worst places to have audio. A lot of noise, a lot of other issues. But slowly people started getting it better, and once it went to digital, if you really needed some low noise audio, you could use a interface on most motherboards called SPDIF, and got it out of the PC noiselessly, most of the time through an optical connection, so it didn't have noise in it. And these guys just kind of languished for a number of years. They made a headset and a boom mic for all these gamers that apparently became the toast of the town. When you're doing a lot of killing in first-person shooters, apparently the headset to have was Turtle Beach's. This thing took off like a rocket. Everybody shorted the living daylights out of it. 3410 was the high on August 7th. Let's take a quick look at it. Still, last few days, fairly high short sale numbers. It's it had a 61% short sale number going all the way up. In fact, when it started running in May, it already had like a 30% short interest. So still a boatload of people short this thing. And you might get especially intraday, you can watch these things run $5 a lot of times when they get to get ready. So in the next couple of days, if you're looking for a flyer for intraday, you might. This does look like it has tested its previous low on liner volume, HEAR. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.